Hello, and welcome everyone to AARP Wellness Mondays. This is our third episode with Chef M of the Latin House Grilled. And this episode is going to be specifically near and dear to my heart because Chef M has brought us all these wonderful recipes in the last episodes. But in this one, he is going to bring to life a tasty recipe from mi bella Isla del Encanto, Puerto Rico. Yo no nací en Puerto Rico, pero Puerto Rico nació en mí. I am one of those Brooklyn born and bred Puerto Ricans. So I wasn't born on the island, but I love the island as much as if I had been born there. Ese orgullo puertorriqueño siempre está con nosotros. So today's episode is super special to me because he's going to give us a new twist on an old favorite of a Puerto Rican recipe. But before I go ahead and introduce Chef M so that he can share this little bit of deliciousness with us today, I wanted to talk again a little bit about, we're now getting to the point where we are hopefully seeing a light at the end of the tunnel after the pandemic. And we know that during this time, a year and a half where we may have been socially isolating and practicing being safer at home, we may have not been paying as much attention to our health as we need to. So for a lot of us, we're getting back into that normalcy and starting to get back out. And so we want to make sure that if you are trying to get physically fit, nutritionally fit, or focus on your mental well-being, because we know a lot of people were going through some anxiety and depression. You might even feel some anxiety going back into, the world as it is now. So we encourage you, come visit us at aarp.org/healthy, and you'll get a lot of tips and resources on how to get fit physically, mentally, and actually even find some great recipes like the ones we're about to hear from now. So without further ado, Chef M, estamos listos. ¿Qué va a cocinar para nosotros hoy?
Hola, mi gente! What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming out today, being here with us with AARP, being here with myself, Chef M from Latin House here in South Florida. Today we have a really cool dish for you. We're going to go to the islands, to the sister island of my home island, to the wing of the same bird, Puerto Rico. We have very fond memories of Puerto Rico. It's a beautiful place. It's part of us. It's definitely part of so many that are here in this country. But it's a beautiful place also for any of all of us to be able to go on vacation and experience the beauty and the culture that is Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rican cuisine, I would say when you're thinking healthy and when you're thinking kind of saludable and good for you, I would not think Puerto Rico would be my first guess. Some of the most incredible places in the Piñones are, and you go into the islands and you go to these little shops and everything is deep fried, and the little bacalao, frituras, and the little bits of stuffed anything and deep fried. So with us, what we wanted to do is go away from the fryer. We wanted to use our baking recipe and something very interesting. We're going to be using a soy-based protein. This is soy-based chorizo. Instead of using ground beef, which would be the normal one that you would use for this dish, you can go a little leaner. You can definitely go different ground beefs, but you can go ground turkey. You can go ground chicken. But in this case, because of using the soy-based chorizo, you can get as close to that ground beef as possible, but at the same time, keep all that flavor without all the fat and without all of the animal products that you would have. So the recipe is very simple. What you want to do is, if you're going to plan this out and you have a couple of weeks ahead of you, then you definitely want to go ahead and go to the store and get some plátanos. These are plátanos maduros. Están verde, or as you would say, they are green at this moment in time. But you can tell the difference between a green one at your store, one that is starting to ripe, as you can see here with the yellowish. It almost looks like a bruised banana. That's when you know that you're getting the right ones. When you're going something like this, it's going to take you a lot longer, almost 2 weeks before it's ready. When you get something in this version, maybe in 3 or 4 days, put into a brown bag in your oven is always a really nice secret to be able to get it ready and maduro. Now, what maduro means is ripe. You want really ripe, sweet plantains. Now, of course, we have supermarkets. And what do supermarkets have? Convenience. So the convenience of the supermarket is you can actually go to your local supermarket and go down the frozen food aisle, and inside of the frozen food aisle, they'll have in the Latin section, they'll have plátanos enteros maduros. So plátanos enteros maduros, what are they? They are these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sweet plantains, exactly what I just showed you, but these have already been ripened, they've already been peeled, and they are ready for you to take directly to the oven or add whatever you like on top. Now, let's start off with the picadillo. We're going to be doing a pound of the actual meat that we had, which is not meat. This is a soy-based protein. We're going to be adding some mushrooms, white button mushrooms. You want to chop them up, kind of sliced, turn them around, and then a rough chop, because the mushrooms will break down and will start absorbing all of that wonderful little oil and in there inside. So you want to get those in there. And then peppers. This is not a hot pepper or a sweet pepper. You can do bell peppers. You can do jalapenos. This is your gusto, your taste, your level of heat of what you would like, okay? So you want to go ahead and take the pepper, kind of chop down, split it into workable pieces. And then again, remember, all the heat of all the peppers is always going to be in that middle membrane. Everything you see inside, all those little seeds, that's heat. So you remove those or you keep them depending on you. You want to give it a nice little rough chop and then spin it and give it again another little turn to get nice little bits cooked down while you are cooking. All right, so we have the peppers, we have the mushrooms. Now you're going to have tomatoes, chopped, cleaned, no problem. You're going to add those in also. I have the rest of the mushrooms. Onions, white onion, Spanish onion, or red onion. A lot of people ask, what is the difference between a white onion and a red onion? When you're cutting them, they're both going to make you cry. No matter what, you are definitely going to cry. The Spanish onions are sweeter. The white onions are used for a lot more dishes without the sugar content. And the red onions taste the best raw. So whenever you're kind of cooking, if you're looking at your dishes, if you want to caramelize something and you have a slow cooking onion process, you go with the yellow onion. And if you're doing something for sandwiches, tarts, bagels, anything, then you go with the red raw onion. So in this case here, we have the white onion. You're going to add that also. A little bit of garlic, crushed garlic. Garlic fresh, definitely crushed in it. And you have them all set up. You're going to be mixing it in, kind of going through. And then a little bit of olive oil to the side. Not too much, because you want it to kind of not stick, but at the same time, you're not trying to drown the food. You just want it to cook down and go through. Now, this cooks exactly like a ground beef would. You're going to see it change in color. You're going to see it change in style. But this is what it's going to look like while it's on your saute pan. All right? Then you're going to come back, and when it's done in about 20 minutes, you're going to have this right here. This is picadillo. This is ground, like you would have a ground beef, a ground turkey. In this case here, it's a ground soy protein. It looks yummy. It tastes. Cannot tell the difference. Absolutely incredible. Takes all of the flavor. You can add cumin. You can add a little bit of paprika, salt and pepper to taste. Like I said, with the heat, if you want to have a little bit more heat, you can definitely do that also. Okay, now I'm going to clean this up here. When you've taken your maduros, you will notice I'm going to lift one up here. Perfect. So the maduros itself, you want to put them in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And you want to kind of slit them over the top. And as they are, you're going to notice here, they open up beautifully with the back of your spoon, just kind of going all the way through. You're going to see all those beautiful little Maduro seeds. You're going to see that nice little membrane in there, all of that sugar, all of that just yumminess, ready for stuffing. That's how you want to have it set up. You want to take a little bit of your picadillo, and you want to put it inside of each one, kind of going through. Now, again, there's no limit. There's no amounts. What you want to do is that it stays on, because you want to be able to serve each individual maduro to a different plate and for someone else. So you want to put just enough that you are kind of going through to the setup. The first time we ate this, we went to Puerto Rico, my wife Bella and I, and we kind of do this when we go somewhere we don't know. We get out of the airport, we rent a car, and we jump in, and we're like, okay, let's get lost. And you think to yourself, you're in the middle of a weird country, you're driving around, and you're getting lost. You're literally getting lost on purpose. You want to make sure that you are kind of experiencing the locals and seeing everything. So what do? We get lost. We go up into the mountains. Puerto Rico has like these incredible microclimates that on one side you're on the ocean, the other side you're like in a rainforest, and then on another side it's like super hot, absolutely incredible. And it's all within hours of driving. And we saw this little shop. It was beautiful. It was on the side of the road, and they were selling all this kinds of little food. They had little tortillas with little papa, which is like a mashed potato taco. Don't know what it's called, but maybe you can give me some on the comments below. Mashed potatoes, little tortilla, simple, delicious, no sauces. The lady looked at me very strange when I asked her for a little bit of pico de gallo or sauces. I don't think that was the right place to ask. But then they also had these awesome little canoes de carne, which is what we're doing here. This is served like a lasagna, like a panetela, and it's also served as individual dishes. So you have it there. It's called a pastelón, which is the classic dish that you would have layers of maduro, layers of ground beef, layers of cheese, and then just kind of stacking it on over and over and throw that in the oven, and you're able to cut it. And it's a Puerto Rican lasagna is what it is. But with the canoes, I think they look a lot nicer. You're able to kind of share them individually with the family. And I was really impressed when we had them. So the reason that we were in Puerto Rico is because at Latin House, we actually happen to have a Puerto Rican sangria. Very, very unique, because no one else has it in the United States. This is an award-winning sangria that we went to Puerto Rico, and we had to actually ask permission to the father of our friend to be able to ask for this recipe to be able to sell it at Latin House. So long story short, we went to Puerto Rico. We made incredible, lifelong family friends. And we have the sangria called Don Chu Sangria at Latin House. So if you're ever in Miami, you want to try the best sangria pretty much anywhere in the world, you want to come to Latin House and try it out. So now this is mozzarella I'm adding here. You can never do too much cheese. Bella's always like, stop, no more cheese. And I'm like, babe, it's cheese. You got to put it. Cheese is one of those things where there is no amount of cheese. Now, this cheese here, because we're doing a vegan dish, this is a non-dairy based cheese. So it's like a mozzarella kind of wannabe mozzarella, but it tastes great. It has absolutely no dairy in it, so you don't have to worry about it, and stays within the whole vegan formula. So as you can see, mushrooms, peppers, soy, bananas, and of course vegan cheese. So you have a complete dish with no animal products in it whatsoever. So this is what it looks like as you would be preparing it. You can do it to this point and be at home and make a bunch of these and put them in the refrigerator and leave them there for later. As soon as company comes over, you can have them and then pop them in the oven. I would say in the oven, you want to do like 350 degrees for about maybe 20 to 25 minutes, and just keep an eye on it. I like putting it in the broiler on the top part for the last 10 minutes, but you got to keep an eye on it, because I promise you that cheese will start to turn golden brown, it'll start to bubble. And there's a really fine line between beautiful golden cheese and just a black top. So just watch out and care for that. All right, so we're going to go in the oven now. The oven coming off. Absolutely beautiful. Magic of TV. Voila. Okay, now this here is the exact same coming through, so you can see with the cheese and with the oven. I will be lifting it up. It's very hot. but we want to show it to you so you can see. Now, this is your Maduros stuffed with a soy-based chorizo picadillo with the vegan cheese, peppers, mushrooms. Like I said, anything that you want to add to it, you can. You can slice it individually. You can serve it whole. This is exactly how I would serve it. Put it on a dish, bring it out. You walk in, take a little bit of cilantro right on top, and you pretty much have just a beautiful bite. It's healthy. It's an alternative to all of the fat and all of the setup, and it's just absolutely perfect for what you guys want to have. So what do you guys think at home? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, again, other alternatives that you can do, like I said, ground turkey, definitely lean and healthy. And if you don't like the taste of the soy, you can easily add ground turkey. Ground beef, try to do like a 90-10. When you're at the store and you see those numbers on the ground beef, all that is a fat to protein ratio. Anything 10, 8, 7, 5 is going to be very lean, and it's going to be drier. If you're making something that you want that juicy and that fattiness, like a burger, you definitely want like a 25% fat, 20% fat. But for something like this that you're trying to avoid and you want to be healthy, stay in that 10% range. Soy protein, what we have found, they have soy chorizo, they have a soy crumble, which is really good, and then they have the actual meat kind of substitute, which is incredible. You can also make burgers out of that, and you can also put them into the plantains. Maduros, going through, store-bought is the way to go if you have the time. If you don't, this is what you're going to get when you get home. You're going to get a very hard plátano that you're going to have to soak in water, and you're going to have that process of days before you actually get into it. And then easily, slowly, but surely, you'll be able to get to the Maduro side. But it's so much easier to just buy it and stuff it with whatever you like. There are no rules. I'm going to cut myself a piece here because I cannot have this here and not actually bite. And I'm going to share it with my family today.
Chef M, I'm over here. Literally, my mouth is watering looking at that. Qué recuerdo de Puerto Rico. Thank you for sharing this wonderful recipe. Oh my gosh, that looks perfect and amazing. I want to take a bite from here. You made it look so easy, and thank you for sharing the alternatives. You know, I myself suffer from a lot of different food intolerances, and so always looking for opportunities to enjoy those, you know, old favorites from our culture, or even if you're trying to learn a new recipe, if it's not from your culture, but looking at new ways to enjoy an old favorite. So thank you. This was really amazing for you to share that with us. It looks absolutely tasty and amazing, and it looks like even I can do it. So so I just want to take this opportunity again. Thank you, Chef M from the Latin House Grill. I want to thank everyone who has joined us for this episode, and even for those who have joined us for the earlier episodes we have. We want to encourage you to continue to try to find new ways to get fit, get healthy, eat good food. Visit us at aarp.org/healthy living. You'll get some tips, you'll get some resources, and we invite you to come back next week for papa relleno. And this time we're going all the way to Peru, right, Chef M?
Yeah, so next week we're going to be bringing one of my people that I look up to and that I love how they cook. Chef Sergio from my restaurant, Latin House, will be joining us. Peruvian born, exquisite, talented, an incredible, incredible chef. And I am super excited to be sharing his recipe with you guys, which is going to be a papa rellena Peruvian style. In the oven, not deep fried, healthy, just incredible layers of flavor. I'm salivating even thinking about it. So looking forward to that next week.
I have to tell you, after my own Puerto Rican food, Peruvian food is my next best favorite food out there. Lomo saltado, I'm just a huge fan. I can order that over and over again. So again, thank you, Chef M.
Mexican, all
yes.
of them. Absolutely.
Listen, there's lots of good food to experience out there, and we're just so grateful to you that we have this opportunity with you. You're bringing us and introducing all these lovely new dishes and recipes for us, and we invite you to come back next week. Although next week I will mention that it will be more Spanish, and it will be, if you want to see us, it'll be at our Café con Leche page on Facebook and on YouTube. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe, everyone, and be well.
Thanks, guys. Bye.